Hello. In this video, the main thing I want to talk about is how to use instances to save file size on your Cinema 4D projects, and I'm also going to review how to acquire and use the free 3D models available to you in your Cinema 4D projects. So first, let's cover that first. So I'm going to go to TurboSquid here, and I'm going to choose Cinema 4D models, and I'll just put in the search engine tree, and then for my students, I do not want you spending any money on this course, so choose in the drop down menu free. So we got Cinema 4D and free, so we're like pretty limited. And which one was I using? I had a nice one here somewhere. It was a nice broadleaf tree. Let me choose this oak tree. I think it'll lead me to the download page. Okay, yeah, here it is. This broadleaf tree 02. So this is review, and at the end of this, I'll point you to where you can get more information on this. But anyway, so here's broadleaf 2. So I'll click on tree.fbx and it will download. The other thing you also have to do is download bark.png and leaf.png, and then you're going to put all of that stuff into a folder. So here's the tree.fbx I downloaded, the bark PNG, and the leaf PNG. Now, this is my YouTube channel, so people from all over the place watch it. But if you're my student, you can go on Blackboard on the home page, and this acquiring free models for your projects folder is here. This YouTube video will explain this in more detail on how to acquire the tree and so on. And it's so you just, if you're my student, you can click on this link. On this YouTube channel, I'll put this link in with this recording I'm making right now. All right, so anyway, so I downloaded tree.fbx, bark, and leaf, right? I have that in my own file here. Now I can go into C4D, do file, open, and open the FBX file, and this is what you'll have here. So this is the tree opened, or Cinema 4D has opened the FBX file. So the first thing I'm going to do is save it as a Cinema 4D project. Save project as, and it'll default to C4D, right? And so I will save it. Okay, there's no materials on it, and again, this is reviewed in the other video I pointed to earlier. So I'm going to make a material for the bark and for the leaf. So new material, double click, delete the reflectance channel, enable the color channel, and we'll load an image for the texture. And I'm going fast because this is review, it's in the other video. So this is what, bark. Okay, so I'll call this one bark. Label your materials. Hooray. Okay, I need a leaf texture. I'm going to disable reflectance, enable color channel, load the image. I'm going to load the leaf. So that's all cool. Now the weird thing is, the person that designed this, they called it leaf bark, and then they called this branches stems, which is a little weird. So like if I take the bark, I thought, well, that'll go on stems. Okay, bark goes on the stems. Nope, it didn't work. Oh yeah, that did work. Okay, cool. Bark went on the stems. All right, yeah. So you got to fool around with this. Like I initially put, when I was doing this earlier, I put the wrong image on the wrong object. So anyway, for this object, what the designer called branches will take the leaf, and what the designer called stems will take the bark, which is a little bit weird. Okay, so you're thinking, okay, that's really cool, great, let's save it, yay. Okay, save project. Now, let's take a look at the file size of this thing. Cinema 4D, tree.c4d is almost 200 megabytes. So that's pretty chunky, right? That's pretty big. Here is a simple scene that I set up. So what I'm going to do is put my tree into the scene. And so what I'll do is I'll go File, Merge Project, and I will choose tree.c4d, click Open, and it should appear right here. And that's cool. Now let me do a render of this, and you'll see something went horribly wrong. Asset error. Okay, it's saying leaf and bark isn't showing up. Okay, that's because Cinema 4D didn't have an opportunity to make a pathway for these images on these materials. So no reason to panic. All we've got to do is reload the correct images. So fortunately we labeled them, right? So let's double click on the leaf material and then just simply load image and reload it, the leaf image, and then Cinema 4D will say, do you want to create a copy, in the correct folder? So now Cinema 4D is saying, okay, I'm going to create a new folder in your project folder and stick the image in there, and all will be good. So we'll just say yes, and lo and behold, it worked. Same thing with bark. We'll reload that image. And again, yes, we will. Okay, cool. Let's save this just while we're on a roll here. Save project. And let's just take a gander into our Finder. So you see this new text folder was created, and it has those images in it. So that's why now Cinema 4D is happy. All right. So let's do a render of the view here. Any day now. I think is it working? There it goes. It just took a while. Okay, it took a while to render because the tree is a very complex object. All right, so anyway, okay, the tree is way too huge, right? And the way it came in is the tree came in as two separate objects. So we got the material squared away. That's great. Let's select these two and group these objects together by selecting them, right-click, and choose Group Objects, or if you're on a Mac, you can do Alt-G. On a PC, it's Option-G. And let's rename this tree. And it's way too huge, so let's activate the Scale tool. And somewhere away from the object, just click, hold, and drag to the left and scale it down to something that looks, kind of sort of credible. It's up to you. All right, so let's move this tree off the pavement because I want us to be in the grass, right? All right, so let's save this file, save this project now. And again, let's double check. All right, so here's the scene now is gone up to almost 200 megabytes because we have this complex tree in here. This scene is very simple without the tree. Without the tree, this is almost 800 kilobytes, So we went from 800 kilobytes to almost 200 megabytes because of this little tree. So if we, now let's say, okay, I love this, Yay, hooray, I love trees, I want more trees. So what I'll do is I'll copy a tree, and I'll paste a tree, and I'll just move the tree. And I love that so much, I'm going to do it again, and on and on and on. Whoopsies, I selected the wrong tree. Okay, C, Control V, okay. So now I got 3 trees, and maybe I go nuts, and I got like 10 trees in there. Let's save this. In fact, let's save it incremental. It's even better. You see how long it's taken to save? So, as you can see, here's what we started with. 1 tree, 196 megabytes, 3 trees, close to 600 megabytes, uh-oh. All right, so, you don't want to be doing that. So, let's delete these trees. And I'll show you how to use the instance object, and there's a couple ways to use it. I'll show you both. The easiest way is, okay, I want a bunch of these trees. So I'm going to select the tree so it's enabled, so it's selected orange, or amber, or whatever color that is. And then in the subdivision surface drop-down menu, I'll choose instance, and this will come up. This will come up as tree instance. Okay, and it'll make a copy of it, so to speak, right on top of the object, so I can move it over. Okay, so now I got 2 trees. Let me save this. In fact, let me save it incremental. Okay. All right, so this is 0002. So 001 had 1 tree. Wait, whoops, I'm sorry. The first scene had 1 tree, 200 megabytes. 002 has several trees, but it's still at 200 megabytes. All right, so so I can make, so now with this tree instance, it's not adding to the file size, so I can copy it, Command C and Command V, and Command V again, and I got, I can have trees out the wazoo here, as long as I'm copying these instances. Okay. So, okay, I got 5 trees there. Save incremental. So, file 0003 will still be 200 megabytes, right? So if we go to 0003, and there it is. We got all these trees, and it's the file size has not increased. Okay, so that's great. Yippee. Another way to use now I'm going to delete these because I want to show you another way to do it. I'm going to delete all these instances. Okay, so you can have nothing selected in the object manager and create an instance object, and you'll see it is red. That means there's no reference for this. What the heck is that? If you look in if the instance object is selected, you can look at the attribute manager. There's a reference object field here, and you can make an instance of anything you want, but let's, with the instance object selected, click, hold, and drag tree and put it into that field there and drop it. And the thing is it doesn't, a couple things. First of all, it doesn't automatically rename to tree instance. Secondly, the tree will appear at a different, the instance will appear at some different place, typically where the object was imported. The coordinates where the objects were imported is probably where the instance will show up. So that's kind of thing to be aware of. So this is cool, you know. Now, but just you have to remember to name this thing tree instance, okay? And you have to remember what your reference is, okay? So, so it's better to just have the object you want to make an instance of selected first, then create an instance object, and then it, you know, it names it for you, and it puts the instance in the exact same place as the reference object. So again, I can save this, and the file size will not increase. Okay, so anyway, that's a lot of talking, but it will, if you're my student, this is intended to help you with your cityscape project, and but also it can apply to like any objects you acquire from TurboSquid and bring into your projects, you know, with fiddling around with the materials and so on. So I hope this video was helpful.